People say there's a small town somewhere deep in the American West called Graypine. It never shows up in the news, nobody has ever visited it, but sometimes, very rarely, it appears on digital maps. One day, a teenager named Jayden, who loved exploring abandoned places for his YouTube channel, noticed the town by accident. It flashed on his GPS for barely a second, as if someone had just added it. When he zoomed in, Graypine disappeared again. Curious, he started searching online. No photos. No websites. Nothing. Except for one old note in a road maintenance archive. Graypine, status unknown. Last recorded, 1986. The next day, Jayden pulled out an old printed road atlas his grandpa kept in the garage. Flipping through the pages, he froze. Graypine was marked clearly on a map from the 1980s, streets and all. That night, as he looked at the atlas again, something strange happened. Under his lamp, one of the towns on the page seemed to shimmer, and the outline of Graypine became sharper, like it was appearing right in front of him. He grabbed his phone to record it, but the camera wouldn't focus. On the screen, the town looked like a shifting blur of light. The next morning, he drove to the coordinates he had written down. The road was old and cracked, but the GPS kept leading him forward. And suddenly, the sky seemed to fade into a duller color. The sound of the highway behind him vanished. Ahead, an old rusted sign came into view. Welcome to Graypine. When Jayden stepped closer to film it, the sign dissolved into the air, like it was made of smoke. At that moment, the GPS blinked back to life with a message. Destination lost. Jayden drove home, shaken, but that wasn't the scariest part. When he checked the old atlas again, Graypine had disappeared, all that remained was a blank patch on the page. There's a strange rumor that travels around certain parts of the American West, a rumor about a town called Graypine. Most people have never heard of it, and those who have can never agree on where it's supposed to be. Some say it's deep in the desert, others swear it's hidden in the woods near an old mining road. What makes the rumor even stranger is this: Graypine doesn't exist in photos or videos. It exists only on maps, and only sometimes. The story I'm about to tell comes from a teenager named Jayden, a kid who loved exploring abandoned locations for his YouTube channel. He wasn't searching for anything supernatural, he just liked forgotten places, the kind where nature slowly takes back what people built. But one day, while planning a new trip, he stumbled on something he couldn't explain. Jayden was scrolling through a digital map on his laptop when he noticed something odd. A tiny town name appeared for a split second, Graypine. He blinked, confused. When he zoomed in to check it, the name vanished. He refreshed the map. Still nothing. Thinking it was a glitch, he ignored it, until about an hour later, the name appeared again in the exact same spot, flashing for barely a moment before disappearing. This time, Jayden felt something inside him freeze. Glitches don't repeat themselves that perfectly. He tried searching Graypine online, but nothing came up. There were no photos, no population stats, no articles, just a single handwritten note scanned into an old road archive, saying, Graypine, status unknown. Last recorded, 1986. Jayden didn't know what status unknown meant. Had the town been abandoned? Destroyed? Forgotten? He headed into the garage and dug out an old road atlas that belonged to his grandpa. The thing was huge, heavy, and smelled like dust and mildew. Jayden flipped through the pages until he found the region he had seen on his digital map. When he spotted the right area, his heart skipped. There it was. Graypine. Printed clearly in the same style as every other town. It even had a small symbol for a gas station and a school. He stared at it for a long moment, feeling the air around him get strangely still. It bothered him that the town existed here, in a book printed decades ago, but nowhere else. That night, Jayden brought the atlas to his room and set it on his desk under a lamp. As he flipped to the page again, he noticed something unusual. the ink around Graypine looked fresher than the rest of the map, almost like it had been printed recently. The lines outlining the town looked darker, sharper. When he leaned closer, he swore the edges of the town were shifting slightly, like warm air over pavement. He took out his phone to record it, but the screen refused to focus. Instead of clear lines, the camera captured Graypine as a glowing blur, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. Jayden sat back, feeling a chill he couldn't explain. It was like the map was trying to show him something, or hide it. Against his better judgment, he decided he needed to see the place for himself. The next morning, he wrote down the exact coordinates from the atlas and started driving. At first, everything seemed normal: regular highways, gas stations, radio static switching to music and back again. But the closer he got, the more unusual things became. The road narrowed and grew rougher, the pavement cracked and broken. The trees around him seemed older, their branches twisting overhead like long fingers. The sky dimmed slightly, as if he had driven into a place the sun didn't fully reach. He rolled down his window. The air felt colder than it should have been for that time of year. And the world was quiet, too quiet. No birds. No wind. No distant engines. After driving for nearly an hour on the rough road, he finally saw something ahead, an old metal sign leaning to one side. As he got closer, he realized it said, "Welcome to Graypine." The sign looked ancient, rusted through, the paint faded. Jayden stepped out of his car, filming as he approached it.